When you walk into a typical office or like a classroom, there are just certain objects you totally ignore.
Oh, absolutely. Like the ceiling tiles or the light switches.
Right. Or that basic digital clock on the wall. They are literally just the background noise of architecture.
Yeah, completely invisible to the conscious mind. You only really look at them when you need to know how many minutes are left in a meeting.
Well, today we are looking at a product specification page from HD TV Supply. It's for the Advanced Network Devices IPCSS-RWB-IC InformaCast-Enabled IP clock. Small edition, apparently.
That is quite a mouthful.
It really is. But basically, this thing looks like a standard digital wall clock, but is actually a Trojan horse for a smart building. Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Our mission for you today is to reveal how totally mundane, everyday office objects secretly house sophisticated command center technology. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's do it. So on the surface, this device is just a 10.8-inch multicolor auto-dimming LED touchscreen.
Seems normal enough.
Right, but then you look at the price tag. $1,045.
For a clock.
Exactly, and it runs entirely on PoE or PoE+, power over Ethernet.
Meaning it doesn't even plug into a standard electrical outlet on the wall.
Oh.
It just pulls its electricity and data connection through a single internet cable.
Yeah. And what's fascinating here is the sheer hardware they've packed inside that chassis. Like, this is actually a PA system disguised as a timepiece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it has two built-in 4-inch speakers engineered to project sound across an entire 600-square-foot room. Plus, it functions as a hands-free, two-way intercom.
Wait, I don't get it, though. I mean, I am looking at the specs, and this thing weighs 5 pounds.
It's definitely dense.
That is incredibly heavy for a small wall clock. Is all that weight just coming from, like, the heavy magnets in those speakers?
Yeah.
And it lists support for a massive array of network protocols. IPv6, SIP, DHCP.
Right.
Why does a clock need a networking resume that looks like it belongs to an IT department's core router?
Well, those protocols are actually the key to the whole device. Things like SIP and VoIP basically mean this clock is literally functioning as a network telephone.
A telephone.
Yes. Those heavy-duty specs and that 5-pound frame, which houses an actual motherboard, by the way, aren't just there to make sure the morning announcements sound crisp.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, they provide the computing power for this device's true critical purpose.
Okay, so if this thing is drawing dedicated power over Ethernet and routing VoIP telephone calls, it's doing a lot more than chiming at the top of the hour.
Exactly.
What happens when the network sends a distress signal? Because the spec sheet really emphasizes that the clock is InformaCast-enabled.
So InformaCast is an emergency mass notification software.
Okay.
And because the clock is tied directly into that network telephone system we just talked about, it allows emergency broadcasts to instantly override whatever the clock is currently displaying or playing.
And to back that up visually, it has those individual red, white, and blue LED flashers built right into the frame.
Yeah, specifically to alert people who might have headphones on or something.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's basically a digital Swiss Army knife.
It really is.
Because it has all this onboard processing power, it directly supports physical peripherals. Like, you can wire this clock up to external strobe lights, call buttons, motion sensors, and even electronic door locks.
Right, and if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
this is where the device transcends being just a clock.
Yeah.
Think of the building's Ethernet network as a central nervous system.
Okay, I'm with you.
This clock acts as an active nerve ending. It receives multicast broadcast alerts directly from a built-in web server.
Which means it can sense danger through a motion sensor and instantly trigger a physical reaction, like slamming electronic locks shut on the conference room door.
Exactly.
So for you, listening right now, maybe sitting in a meeting or a classroom, this fundamentally changes how you should look at your environment. That standard clock you just glance at might actually be the room's primary security and emergency lockdown mechanism.
Yeah, the intelligence of a modern building isn't always housed in some flashy control room. Sometimes it's just quietly tracking seconds on the wall, waiting for the network to wake it up.
So what does this all mean?
Well,
It means that a $1,045 IP clock, driven by its included Clockwise campus software, proves that modern infrastructure is hiding in plain sight.
we are surrounded by complex technology, just wearing the mask of boring, everyday items.
It entirely redefines what a room is actually capable of doing,
100%.
which leaves you with something to ponder the next time you walk down a hallway. If a simple wall clock is now quietly capable of sensing motion, locking doors and triggering multicolor emergency strobes, what other ordinary devices in our daily environments are secretly doubling as advanced security surveillance hubs?